Hi, and welcome to episode 47 of the Noble Character Crafts podcast. My name is Amy, and I am coming to you from eastern Nebraska, where I live on a farm with my husband and our 5 children. Today is Friday, December 7th, 2018. This is a podcast all about my life as a knitter, a crocheter, a hand dyer of yarn, and a sewist. Although, once again, I haven't been sewing for quite a while, so I don't know if I should continue to say that or not, but nevertheless, I do sew sometimes. A huge welcome to any new or returning viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. You can find me online on Instagram and Etsy at Noble Character Crafts. You can find me on Ravelry at Noble Character. And I also have a group for this podcast on Ravelry under Noble Character Crafts Podcast. In that group, you will be able to find the show notes for this episode, as well as previous episodes and several other chatter threads. You can also get in contact with me through my email at noblecharactercrafts@yahoo.com. I am currently hosting a knit-along along with the ladies of the Meanwhile at the Castle podcast until the end of the month. It is called the Be My Neighbor Cal, and it is for any cardigan that you would like to knit or crochet in any size. And that is in honor of Mr. Rogers, who often wore knitted cardigans that his mother made for him. And also included in this cal are any gift or charity projects that you would like to make. So please head on over to the Ravelry group if you would like to join in the conversation. There is a chatter thread as well as a finished objects thread in the Ravelry group. I will be announcing a prize winner from the finished objects thread today, as well as one more prize winner after the knit along finishes. So at the beginning of January, I will announce one more prize winner, the first podcast that I record in January. So please head on over and enter any of your finished objects. I would love to see what you all are making. So along those lines, I did go ahead and choose through random number generator a winner from the finished objects thread, and the number that was chosen was number 55, who is Rena Gale. Rena from Texas, congratulations. The prize for this month's Be My Neighbor Cal is a set of 5 mini skeins from my Etsy shop. And I don't have them all packaged and ready to go yet, but they will be, of course, packaged up nicer. And I always include a progress keeper / stitch marker along with any of my yarn, and it will also be in one of my hand stamped drawstring bags that I include all of my yarn in as well. But here are the 5 mini skeins that you will be receiving. Let me go through each color here. This is Fountains of the Deep, Springs of Life, Flourish, Friend, and Glad. And I just thought that all of these 5 looked nice together, and I hope that you like these colors as well, Rena. And if you can just send me a message through Ravelry letting me know of your mailing address, I will be happy to get this off in the mail to you as soon as possible. Congratulations again, and thank you so much to everybody who has been continuing to enter your finished objects in that thread. Thank you so much for joining the knit along, and continue to do so until the end of the year. So today I do have a few finished objects to share with you. I am wearing the boho blush shawl that I was able to finish, and I'm so happy with it. I'm so glad to have this. It was a joy to make, but I'm so glad to have it done as well and to be able to enjoy wearing it. So I was almost done with it last week when I recorded a podcast. I just had a few more rows to knit, and then I needed to add all of the tassels on. It's huge, and I was hoping it would be, so I'm so pleased that it turned out so huge. Let me see if I can just run through from one side to the other to show you a bit of its, how big it is. See that lace? It opened up so beautifully. I really love how that looks. Here we're at the halfway point. So you can see it's very large. Oops. There we go. And I love the tassels on it. It took a long time to add all of those tassels on, it took a whole day pretty much on, well, over the weekend we got a lot of snow, and so we had a couple of snow days where we were pretty much just stuck in the house, which is fine by me. And I think I spent pretty much a whole day putting on all those tassels. So it was a little labor intensive, but I just think that really makes the shawl, the addition of those tassels, I think really adds so much fun to the shawl. I'm really, really happy with it. So I used my own hand-dyed yarn, Noble Character Crafts yarn, on my Solace base, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So it's beautifully soft and cozy with that cashmere in it, and I'm so happy with it. I used the recommended needle size, which is US 4 3.5 millimeter, I believe. That's right. And I don't know if I mentioned, but this is the Boho Blush Shawl by Andrea Mowry. And this is my first pattern that I have ever made by Andrea Mowry, and I was very pleased with it. Of course, it was beautifully written, very understandable, and yeah, I'm just so pleased with it. It took just over, well, I had only 2 rows of knitting to knit before I ran out of my second skein of yarn. So I had to use my third skein to finish 2 rows of knitting, as well as the bind off and the tassels. After I was all done with that, the third skein still had 72 grams left in it. So just to give you kind of an idea of how much yardage it took from, or how many skeins it took for me to make this, about a little over 2 skeins. So yeah, I'm just super pleased with this. Obviously it will go with so much in my wardrobe. I love how huge it is. You can wear it, of course, over the shoulders really nicely. It covers so beautifully over the shoulders. And then I also like to just wrap it around several times. It's so nice and cozy, and I'm just really pleased with it. So yeah, so I'm super happy with it and so glad that I was able to finish it, and now I can enjoy it. So I highly recommend the pattern. It was a joy to make, and yeah, so much fun. The next finished objects I have to share with you are some Christmas ornaments that I've been making for my mom as a birthday present for her. Her birthday is in just over a week, and she this year has started collecting a few ornaments that are woodland creature themed, and she had been talking to me about how she'd been going around to different stores and looking for different animals to add to her tree, and I just all of a sudden got the idea that of course I could knit her some. So I looked on Ravelry and I found the pattern called Wee Woodland Wuzzies, which is a pattern by Barbara Prime. So included in the pattern are the instructions to make 6 different kinds of animals. There's a squirrel, an otter, a mouse, a hedgehog, a bunny, and a fox. And also included are the instructions to make scarves and hats for those animals, which is cute. And they are all made flat and then seamed together, although she says in there it would be easy to change that to be worked into the round. I have decided just to work them flat because it seems to be working out really easily for me. So, and also I found that the pattern is easily adjustable if you want to make a different kind of animal. So actually I've only made one of the animals. I have 3 ornaments I want to show you, but only one of them is straight from the pattern. I have made some modifications to the different animals to make animals that I wanted to make for my mom. So anyway, they live out on an acreage in eastern Iowa, and so I kind of wanted to customize the animals to be the kind of animals that they have around their place. So they have a little creek that runs through the back of their house, or runs behind their house, and they have lots of beavers that are around that creek that continually chop down trees and make dams. And so the first animal that I wanted to make is a beaver. And here he is. Isn't he cute? So I used the otter instructions, which the otter and the beaver do look very similar. except that I made his tail really fat so that it would be very beaver-like. So what I did, I have detailed instructions on my Ravelry page for this project, but what I basically did was I just cast on the number of stitches that she called for the otter tail, but then I just kept increasing until I got to a certain number of stitches, and then I kind of rounded off the end of it. But if you want to see details on how I made that tail, you can check out my Ravelry page. But I'm really pleased with how this turned out. And then the only other change I made from the otter to the beaver is that I added the little buck teeth on him, which I think are so cute. So these are all made using worsted weight yarn, which of course makes them so fast to make, which is so wonderful. I mean, it's really, you know, so gratifying to be able to make one of these very quickly. I haven't had a ton of knitting time, I don't feel like, this week, but I've been able to make pretty much one ornament a day since I started. So I only have 3, but I've been working on them for about 3 or 4 days. So off and on, I've been able to get about one made per day. Anyway, I'm really, really happy with this, how this turned out. So I used Wool of the Andes, Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, worsted weight. The main color for this one is the Grizzly Heather colorway, and then for his nose I used the Mink Heather colorway. And then I just used some of my own stashed black yarn for the nose, and for the teeth I just used some of my undyed worsted weight yarn. And yeah, I'm super happy. They're not, the pattern doesn't call for them to be ornaments, but obviously they're easily adjusted to be ornaments. I just put a little bit of string through the top of, I was going to make an I-cord. I started making an I-cord for the string, but it just was turning out too bulky with the worsted weight, and I thought, well, there's really no need for that trouble. I can just put a string through there, so 1 strand of yarn. And also it calls for, well, I use these black buttons for the eyes, which I think is cute. And I am out now though, and I need to go buy some more black buttons because I have 3 made and I want to make 3 more for her birthday present. So anyway, here is number 1, and I'm so happy with him. So the next one I made is this fox, and I pretty much followed the pattern for this one as well. Like I said, all of these pieces are made flat and then seamed together. So you start with the body, which is the same for all of the animals. There's no change to the stitches for the body. And then the head, I think there's several different, I think each animal has a different stitch count for the head to make different shaping. As you can see, the beaver has a much more rounded head and the fox has a more pointy head. So you work the head flat as well. And then with the otter, the ears, I should say that the legs and the hands are just made using bobble stitches. So you don't attach those, you just make those as you go. And then on the beaver's ears, those are also made just as you go. But with the fox's ears, since they're a little bit larger, those are made separately and then sewn on. And then the tail is made separately as well. So anyway, I used Knit Picks Wool of the Andes for this one as well. I believe that this color is called Brown Sugar. I've lost the tag for it, but I'm pretty sure that that's the colorway name for this burnt orange color. And then again, I used my, I had a little bit of my Lamb's colorway, which is undyed, on my Lenora base, which is 100% superwash merino, that I used for the nose. And then I added some, and the end of the tail. And then I added some duplicate stitching to the stomach area, or the belly area of the fox, which is not called for in the pattern, but I just looked online at some pictures of foxes and saw that most foxes had a lighter colored belly, and I just thought that would be cute to add that to this one. And yeah, the original pattern calls for the hands, feet, and ears to be made in black, but I just decided to keep them all in the burnt orange color. So I'm really happy with this little guy too. So cute. And the last one that I just finished, I'm so pleased with. He's so cute. Oh, he might not show up very well because he's so dark, but look at the little skunk I made. I'm so pleased with this one. I think he's so cute. His little face is the cutest of all. I don't know if he's going to show up very well. he's got such a cute little face. So for this one, again, the body is all the same no matter what animal you're making, but on the head, I wanted to have the otter or beaver ears for the skunk because, again, I looked online to see what does a skunk actually look like, and they have pretty little ears. And then I decided to use so I started the head using the otter instructions, and then after I made the ears, then I switched to the instructions for the mouse head, which I really love the shape of this little head. It's so cute. I just think it's adorable. So then I finished it with the mouse head. In the mouse instructions, you're supposed to change colors for the nose, like the foxes where you change for the nose, but of course I just kept it all black. And then for the tail, I used the fox tail instructions, but again, did not switch colors like the foxes. I did not follow that. And then I just used, again, duplicate stitching to add a little stripe down the middle here of his nose. And then more like embroidery, I guess, although my embroidery skills leave a lot to be desired, but it's okay if it's not perfect. My mom will really appreciate it anyway. So I just very messily stitched on some white stripes here, and it's okay. It's not perfect by any means, but it's cute, and I know that she's going to appreciate these little guys. So I think, oh, and for this one I used, again, Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the black, I think it's called Coal, and then again use my undyed yarn for the stripes. Oh, I just think they're so precious. I'm so pleased with them. So the next three, I want to make 3 more, I think, and I'm planning to make a squirrel, the hedgehog, even though we don't have hedgehogs around here, but the hedgehog is so cute on the pattern. I just have to make it. Let's see if I can show you a picture of it without giving away the pattern. And what's the third one I want to make? Oh, a raccoon, I think, which is not included in the pattern, but I think I can, I don't know, just, you know, kind of piece one together using different animals instructions, and then I don't know exactly. Here's a picture of the hedgehog. Isn't he adorable? Ah, he's so cute. So I think I'll make, yeah, the squirrel, which also the squirrel calls for the tail to be made using fuzzy yarn, and I don't have any fuzzy yarn, so I'm not sure how I'll do that, but you don't have to necessarily do it in fuzzy yarn, do you? I don't know. They do have lots of squirrels around their place, of course, and anyway, I'm really, really happy with these. I can't wait to give them to her. I'll have to mail them to her. I won't get to go see her, but I'm so excited to hear her reaction when she gets these little ornaments. Anyway, here they are together. Cute little group of animals. They're so sweet. And hopefully I'll get a few more made this weekend and get those off in the mail to her so that she gets them in time for her birthday. I used a US size 7 4.5 millimeter needle for these, which the recommended gauge is 22 stitches to 4 inches, which I'm not really sure how you get that because you never work up 4 inches, but I just took that gauge from one of my previous projects that I had used Wool of the Andes for, and I had gotten pretty close to that gauge on a US 7, so. Okay, works in progress. I have a few works in progress, just 2 actually. Well, I mean, the animals are kind of a work in progress, but I just finished the skunk, and so I haven't started the next one yet. So in my cute little project bag here, which is from Susie of Tiny Toffee Designs, we did a swap once, and this is what I got from her, which I love. And here are my Cottage Garden socks, which is a beautiful pattern by Hannah Woodhead of Yarnia Designs. And I've gotten a little bit of work done on these since last week. Of course, I'm all tangled. All right, so here is a stitch marker showing you where I was last week, and I have worked a few inches more on these. I am making these 2 at a time, toe up, as the pattern calls for. And I am so pleased with this, how it's working up. There's this beautiful leafy, lacy pattern along each side of the sock. And then there's also a lace pattern along the back, which is beautiful. I love seeing that worked up. Oh, it's so pretty. So I think I measured, and I am only going to need to knit for another inch before I start the ribbing. So these shouldn't take much longer if I can focus on them, not get distracted by other things. But I'm really loving working on these. I absolutely love making socks 2 at a time, and it's so gratifying to be able to be done with both of them at the same time, I think, and not, you know, I don't have to worry about only doing one and then losing steam. So I am using US size 1 2.25 millimeter needles for these, and I'm getting a gauge of 9 stitches to 1 inch. I'm using my own hand-dyed yarn again, Noble Character Crafts yarn. The main color is my Dew on the Grass colorway, and the contrast for the toes and heels, and also I'm going to use them for the cuff, is my Better Than Jewels colorway. So I really love how those colors look together. And yeah, I shouldn't have much more on these before they will be done. So I'm so pleased with that as well. My next work in progress is a new cast on that I have in my Allison Barnes collection project bag. And on here I have a new little addition as well. This is one of the many wonderful little gifts that I have received in my advent calendar from the Advent mini skein swap that I hosted. And I've gotten so many goodies, and this was one of the special little trinkets I got in one of my packages this week. And this bag needed a pull, tab thing on it, and this just works perfectly. The zipper is gray already, and so that tassel works beautifully on there. So I was so glad to add that. I hope that all of you that participated are enjoying your advent calendars as well. I'm going to share a few of the things that I've received in my advent calendar in a minute. Oops. Okay, so I've talked about this project and how I had wanted to start it for a little while, and I am so glad to be working on this. This is going to be a Christmas present for my sister-in-law, my husband's sister. And this is the Layer Me cowl by Gabrielle W. And here is how it's looking so far. It's really such a fun pattern. It's so easy and memorizable. There is the little bit of lace that I need to follow the pattern when I'm on the lace sections, but only on the right side row is there a pattern, and then on the wrong side row you're just working in garter stitch. So everything else, the striped sections, is just garter stitch. So it's super easy to work on, and it's really enjoyable. I'm using the recommended needle size, which are US 4 3.5 millimeter needles. And I'm also, again, using my own hand-dyed yarn, Noble Character Crafts yarn. Since I had 72 grams of my night colorway on my Solace base, I decided just to go ahead and use that for this project instead of, caking up. I was planning on using my Pitter Patter base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon for the black color, but I thought I might as well use up what I already had caked up for this project since I had so much of that left over from my boho blush shawl. So you start with a provisional cast on. So down here is just some waste yarn, and that will be where I seam the cowl together. And you also use a gradient set. So I'm using my Listens faded set in a mini skein set, which I have started offering in my Etsy shop, a few of my faded sets on mini skeins. So you work a striped section with the lightest color to start with, and then a lace section with the lightest color. And then you switch to the second color in the fade for the stripes and the lace. And right now I'm on the third color of the fade of the gradient set. So here are the 5 colors of the faded set together. Whoops, these are mixed up like this. So I'm already done with these 2, and I have 4 grams left of each of these. I'm working on the 3rd shade right now. and it's going really well. I'm so happy with it. I think it'll be really, easy for her to wear with a lot of her outfits. Of course, it's so neutral. It should go with so many of her things. And I've never made anything for my sister-in-law yet, so I really wanted to make something for her, and I think that she'll really appreciate it. She is one of those people that is just an awesome gift giver. Do you have people in your life like that? That every time she has gifted me something, it's something that I love and I cherish for years and years to come. And she is one of those people. She just always gives us such wonderful, thoughtful gifts. And if you've watched before, that the lantern that I usually have on my dresser, that is a candle warmer, she gifted that to me. Well, her daughter gifted it to me, but I know she helped pick it out, I'm sure. And anyway, I just love that. It's just such a neat gift. I really like it, and I use it all year round except for at Christmas time. I have my Christmas village on my dresser now, but usually I use it a lot. Anyway, so I just felt compelled to make her a special gift because she's always giving me such special gifts. I really love the speckles and the Listens faded set. They're basically black and rusty orange speckles, but then once in a while you get a speck of blue. Can you see there? There's a couple of specks in here. Here's a little bit of red as well. And they're just fun little surprises that you get every once in a while, and I absolutely love them. Oh, also on this is an I-cord on each side, which is beautiful, and I just love I-cord edging. And it's really so easy to make. I just love it so much, and it makes such a nice finish. The other great thing though about the I-cord edging is that it hides all of the ends. When you're in the striped section, you don't see the yarn traveling, from one stripe to the next. And then even on the lace section, you don't have to, you can just continue working the black yarn. You don't have to cut the black yarn. So the black yarn is just hidden inside the I-cord, which is wonderful. It's just such a neat design, and a neat way that she wrote the pattern so that you don't have to worry about those yarns showing up as you change colors and so forth. So I'm really loving this, and I'm sure I will get a lot of work done on that. As I said, it's a Christmas present, so I need to keep working on it, which I'm glad to do. It's so much fun to work on. And I don't think I'll have a problem finishing it in time for Christmas. So I'm already pretty much halfway through. Yeah, I am halfway through, because I only have, after I'm done with this striped section, I'll do the lace section of the third color in the fade, and then I only have 2 more colors in the fade, and I'll be done. So really happy with that. Yeah, so those are all my works in progress. So I wanted to share with you a few of the goodies I've been receiving in my advent calendar, and I'm having so much fun. I've never had an advent calendar before. Well, as far as yarn is concerned, I've never had a yarn advent calendar, so it's been so much fun to have goodies to open every morning. So I just wanted to share with you a few of the yarn that I've received and a few of the extra goodies that I've received. So here is day 1. This is the yarns of Richard DeVries. Here was my day 2. Oops. Oh, lost a little tag. I'll have to tie that back on. But this is an unknown skein. But look, she also included this sweet little pink pom-pom stitch marker on there. I love that. And this is a nice rusty orange color. Let's see if I can remember what order I received them in. Not that it really matters, but I think this was day 3, which is a beautiful color of Koigu. This was day 4, this one, I think. I might be wrong, but that's okay. This is Shanty Knits sock in the Fireflies in Love colorway. this one, which is biscotti yarns. And I love this green so much. Oh, it's such a pretty green. All tingled. This is also unknown, but such a beautiful color. And then today's is this one, which is from a sock blank from Andre Sue Knits. It's in the Butterflies colorway. And then I showed you the little tassel that I received. And I also received these little craft stickers, which are so cute. So be creative. I love crafting, more than just a hobby. Crafty chick. So they're just fun little stickers. It's just so much fun. And she also included this wonderful pom-pom. I love it so much. It's got this loop on it, so you could just attach a button to the inside of a hat and then it could be removable. It's in this beautiful gray color, so I'm sure I'll get use out of that. So I was so excited to receive all of these goodies. Like I said, I hope you all have been enjoying your advent calendars too if you participated. And thank you so much, Shelly, for all my goodies. It's just really brightened my morning every day this month, and I'm looking forward to continuing to enjoy that this month. So it really makes the month so much more special. So I really have enjoyed it so far. I'm actually awaiting another package with another advent calendar in it because there was a few mix-ups with some of the swaps in our group. And so I ended up doing a swap with one more person as well. And she's going to, well, it's coming from overseas, and so she has sent it, but it hasn't gotten to me yet. So when I receive that, I'll get to open a few days all at once, and then I'll get to share that with you as well whenever I receive it. So I'm excited about that as well. The last thing I have to share with you is a set of 3 hanks of yarn from my shop. So every time I record a podcast, I like to share a few of the colorways from my Etsy shop. And I have this set for you all today. So I really like how that looks together. That's so pretty. It's blowing out the lightest color here a little bit, but you can still get an idea of how that looks together. This is a new colorway that I just listed in my Etsy shop, and it's just a light minty green solid, and it is called Pure. Well, it really blows out in the sunshine there, but it's a really pretty color. It's so nice and light, and it would work well for baby knits or anybody, of course. And then this is my Glad colorway, which I guess you saw in the mini skein. I really like seeing how it because this is reskeined, and so you can kind of see how the color distribution. This is a better representation of how it would knit up when it's reskeined. You can kind of get a better idea of how the colors are distributed. But here it is in the full skein. So again, this is my Glad colorway, which is just has a base of a light teal color, and then it has tons of colors on it. So you can see the hot fuchsia and the blue in there, green. There's some neat speckles of a darker orange and some deep red, almost like wine colored. There's black speckles in there. There's gold speckles in there. So it's got a lot of fun colors in it. And I haven't knit with it yet, but I'm really itching to knit with this colorway as well. But it's fun to see it reskeined at least, so you can kind of get a better idea of how it knits up. And then this colorway is my Victory colorway, and this is actually on my Twinkle Toes base, which has gold stellina in it. These two are on my Pitter Patter base, which again is my 75-25 Superwash Merino Nylons blend. So anyway, here is my set of 3 hanks of yarn for you to just get an idea of a few different colorways from my Etsy shop. And so like I said, we have gotten a ton of snow since I last recorded. We've gotten about 6 inches of snow, and there for a few days it was just snowing every day. It was like endless, and which was wonderful. I love the snow, so I am so happy to have snow for Christmas time, and hopefully it sticks around for Christmas. I would hate to have it all melt before Christmas. My husband would love that, but I love the snow, and I hate it when it's brown and cold. That's no fun. So anyway, we've really been enjoying the snow, and We even church got canceled on Sunday. So again, we've missed church 3 weeks in a row because of sickness or snow, which is not my favorite. But I don't like missing church, but it's okay. So anyway, we are doing really well. We've gotten over our sickness. I thankfully never got it, so that's awesome. And I think we're through the woods in the sickness. Last week I had said that we've had a few kids and my husband that were sick, but I think everybody is well, and I don't think anybody else is getting that bug. So hopefully we're in the clear for that. Otherwise, we've been doing great. We've been having so much fun with the kids do an advent calendar together as well, and we've been following along with the Focus on the Family advent calendar that they put out for free on their website. It's just got a different lesson for each day, and then there's different projects that the kids can do, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. This is the first year that we have done that, and I highly recommend it if you would be interested in an advent calendar that you can do along with your kids that has a lot of fun activities for them to enjoy. So, and it's free, so that's always nice as well. Anyway, we've really been enjoying that a lot, and yeah, we've just been trying to stay warm and cozy and enjoying life. Again, we've been just really enjoying watching Christmas films together and doing fun things like that. So I hope you all have had a great week, and I hope that you all have a great week ahead. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this podcast, I would really appreciate you giving me a thumbs up and subscribing. And I hope that you all have a great week ahead. Thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.